Hello, hello, everyone. Welcome to those of you who are here, and welcome to those of you who are watching the replay. Um, it's an honor to be here with you. And yeah, I have been in this process of deep listening and the energy that's been moving through. The energy that's been moving through has been really potent, and there's a way that it's really tricky to put it into words and to express everything that is moving through and all the things that I've been wanting to share and express. It's like actually trying to put it into words has been really challenging. And so this morning I just felt the nudge. I was like, I just want to connect, and be able to talk with you, some of you, and see what comes forward in that way. And so before we do that, before we dive in and do some support, I do want to share a little bit about what I'm noticing. And as I was feeling into like the theme of today's call, or the energy that was moving through of like the energetic conversation of the Soul Inspired Success community this week, what I was noticing is this thread of new skin, and it feels like we've been through this huge transformation process the past 4 months, 6 months. We've been in this huge transformational container this year. And what I've been really present to this past week is this fresh, this freshness and this fresh perspective that's coming through. And also this this tenderness, of, it's like we've shed, we've let go, we've gained a lot. It's been like heavy lifting the last couple of months. And there's this fresh tenderness, in this new place that we're arriving to. And a lot of this process has been about opening our hearts, opening our hearts and opening to our deeper wisdom, our soul knowing. So opening our hearts and our souls and bringing our masculine and feminine energies more together. And as we're doing that, our ego and our mind is floundering a bit. And I've been noticing this for myself as well, and the clients that I've been working with and my friends that I've been talking to. And it's like the mind really wants to grasp and hold on. And there's a way that what I see happen often in the coaching industry is that we sort of make our mind, we can either make it wrong or we just try to give it another agenda, right? So the mindset work, there's like these different ways that we either just push those parts of ourselves that maybe aren't on board, we sort of push them to the side, or we override them, or we just like change the whole mindset, right? So we like create this new mantra or this vision and we just start pushing towards it. And what I'm really present to right now is we need all of us on board. We need all of us. And the truth is, these places that are tender, so these ego-y places, the mind that's grasping for dear life and is so afraid of not knowing, right? And is so afraid to let our heart and our soul lead. That's like our young teenage places, or, these childhood places that are afraid. And what it really needs is for us to bring it closer, for us to love it, for us to hold it and not let it run the show, but for us to take it under our wings and bring it with us, and that is how we're actually going to be able to move closer and closer to what we really desire, but what's possible for us, and it's like the more on board we get all these parts and places, the easier things become, So rather than things needing to be super dramatic or super strategic or super like hustly or push or, force driven, it's like we actually then just lean back, listen. We take the step when we feel the nudge, and the path begins to appear before our eyes, right? And that's what I've been noticing for myself. It's like, the more I deepen in my spiritual practice, the more I realize I do not know at all. And the more I realize, like, I thought I was surrendered and I thought that I trusted, right? And I do, I really have a strong faith and I do trust. And I like feel this capacity of like, I'm being asked to trust even more, and I'm being asked to surrender even more. I'm being asked to allow, source to move through me even more. And my mind, like, doesn't always like that. The mind, the ego can be afraid. And, one of the ways that it's been showing up for me the past couple of months, but I've really been present to it this past week is, so I'm a deep feeler, and in the deep feeling, I can go into the depth of like shadow, but I also can go into like the ecstasy, joy emotions, and it can be super expansive. And then I can like the possibility and the magic, right? I can really expand into that and almost create this bubble of magic. And what I've been noticing is there's a way that that's also ego, and I've known this with my mom, I've known this, and it's like I'm seeing it more and more where that's also fear. So just as much as the deep emotions or fear, when we create this like drive or this passion or, like I'm going to do a live and do all this stuff and blah, 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 like that also is fear. And so in my own practice, what I've been noticing is like this space in between these two, right? So like when we get overly excited, we're actually out of essence. We're losing our connection when we get into that overly excited state. And when we go deep into the emotion, we're also there's a time and place for both of these, but if we go deep into the pain and the suffering and the stories, right, we're also losing our connection. And it's this sweet spot of in between these two places where the magic really happens. And that's also the place where our mind flounders the most, right? So our mind is like, what's happening? And I don't know. And, I haven't felt inspired. And, is everything going to fall apart? Am I ever going to feel inspired again? Or whatever the stories are, because it's this fresh, tender, new skin place, so that's where the vulnerability comes forward. And also for us to really continue to expand and to move into these places that we want to go, to move into these visions that are calling us, right? And longing for us to long for them. It's like, that's what I feel like when we really get those. I talked last week in my group about soul activations. And when we really get these soul activations, it's almost like this longing that pursues us, this thing that pursues us, and then it like starts to long for us to long for it and for us to find our way to it. It's like a lover, but it's whether it's like a destination of like actually moving, or maybe it's like stepping into a place in your business, or whatever the thing is, maybe it is a relationship. It becomes this energetic like relationship that's actually growing you into yourself, into your soul self. And for us to continue to step into moving towards these, right, with that grace, with ease, with the most grace and ease possible, we need to be present. We need to be present with all of these pieces. And so This is what I'm noticing the practice is right now. And so I just want to do a quick little meditation, energy exercise, and then we'll dive in. And I would love to support some of you or all of you, however much time we have, in whatever's moving through you. So whether it's business, relationship, self, health, whatever it is, because one thing is all things. And so that is my desire today. And, if you're listening to this replay, just know that one person's medicine is also your medicine, So even if you don't get the opportunity to be held, more than likely there's something for you here. So if you're willing, I invite you to stay with us. So, yeah, let's just take a few breaths together. And as you begin to breathe, I want you to notice what's present for you just in this moment. You can notice what pieces are moving. You can notice if you were doing something before this call or if you have a place to go after, if you're tracking that. Just notice where you're tracking. And if you can, just inviting your energy back, as present as you can get. So if there's some places that you can pull your energetic tendrils in, or the pieces that are tracking, if you could just invite them into the center of your awareness, the center of your third eye. Good, just allowing yourself to be here. And then what I want to invite forward in your energy is the place that's been calling you. More than likely, everyone that I've been talking to there's been a place in their energy that's been like calling them, longing for them to see it. So notice where that is. You can invite it to light up for you. Mine personally has been my womb. And so as this place begins to light up, you can go closer to it if you can, and just start to see what you notice about it. Are there any emotions? Are there any physical sensations? What do you notice? You can also begin to check in and see, if there's any messages here. So anything this part of you wants you to know or anything it needs from you. And then what I want to invite is the places or the parts of you that have been pulling you away from this. Invite those to come forward so you can see them. So start to notice where you feel them in your body, in your energy. For some of you, I can feel the front of your heart. For some of you, I can feel your mind. So we're just starting to say hello to the mechanisms, the places that pull you away from this part of you that's really wanting your attention. And you can also notice how it feels. So when you give your attention to these places that are trying to pull you away, just kind of check in and see how that feels in your body. It might feel really good, it might feel really good, might feel kind of crunchy, or there might be some anxiety. Just notice. There's no right or wrong. And then what I want to invite you to do is see if you can find a space in between. A space in between these 2 points. Yeah, and as you begin to arrive to the space in between, I invite you just to take a few breaths and, see if you can open or surrender. So just releasing any muscles, just kind of like giving yourself over to the energy, and just see what you notice in the space in between. And you can notice where you feel it in your body as well. And you can notice it's like as you're in this space in between, also notice how the part of you that was like trying to pull you away, notice how it's feeling about you being in the middle. It might feel a little fussy or tantrumy. So just notice. And then also notice the other part of you, that was really desiring your attention. Notice how it's feeling about you being in the middle. Yeah, so this is the place where you can see both, where you can see the part that's calling you, and you can see also the places that might be afraid. They might be afraid, they might be pulling you away, they might be trying to redirect your awareness or your attention. So this is like the holy neutral, you know, this is where the magic is. And I just want to do one more step here. So it's like when we're in this space in between, sometimes it can feel lonely. It can feel like, well, I don't know what to do. Um, so let's just invite some grace in. So you can imagine some golden energy coming in from your crown. So just connecting back to your crown and allowing grace in. Good. Good. And you can feel, I can feel some of your systems relaxing, like settling more in, almost like you're able to sit more in your root or your sacral chakra. Beautiful. So whenever you're ready, you can slowly come back to your body. And I'd love to talk with some of you. So if anyone is feeling guided, you can raise your hand or just let me know in the chat box. You can do video, and you also don't have to do video, so whatever feels right for you. And again, we can focus on whatever's forward. All right, Inga.
Hi, Lindsay.
Hi, how are you?
I don't know. That's the question. Yeah, I'm noticing in this neutral place. I'm sort of present, kind of my upper heart, sort of between my throat and my heart, and there's like a longing to be seen, a longing to like shed a cloak, and the piece kind of trying to leave from that is really worrying about other people. It's really tending to other people's energies. They don't even need to be tended, but it's just where my energy goes. So yeah, that's where I'm at.
Yeah. So are you open to dropping in and looking a little?
Yeah, I really am.
So what I'm curious about is, where's the cloak? You notice where that is in your system?
Yeah, it kind of looks like in front of me, like a cloak I put in front. And it kind of seems to drop down from like upper throat over my chest area. Kind of cloaking really my heart.
Yeah. What I'm noticing too is, so there's the cloak in the front of your heart, and then there's also a cloak in the back of your heart. Like, it feels like there's this place where you actually cloaked part of your heart off from you. So it's like there's something behind the back cloak, that we can't see.
When I tune into that area, it feels like the cloak is like violently like whapping in the wind, and there's like turbulence, and there's anger, and there's like a fiery energy there. It could totally be stuff that I can't see, but not even present to the not seeing.
Yeah. So are you up for going towards that one?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, and just see what you notice as you get closer to it.
It feels like I put that there a long time ago. And it's like a strangely, like I'm able to look at it from a peaceful place, just kind of watching it do its thing.
what I'm noticing too is like as you're getting closer to it, I can feel your throat more.
Mm.
Like it feels like this back cloak is the piece that's connected to your throat.
Mm-hmm. As you said that, I felt like a scream wanting to come out.
Mm-hmm. There's also like this feeling of it's like I can feel the part that's like whipping um and then it's like the part in the front, there's almost like this feeling of hmm, kind of like a hopelessness.
Mm.
That might not be the perfect word, but it's like this heavier, like denser kind of like
It's kind of like raising the shoulders, kind of like a false acceptance that that's how it has to be.
mm-hmm.
Neither hopeless or helpless feel like quite the word, but kind of like, yeah, like a false acceptance.
Mm-hmm.
Like a shrug.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm curious about the part of you that's like, it feels like acceptance, but like you said, it's like this false acceptance. So I'm curious about that part. Can you see her or find her?
Mm-hmm. Okay, so there's a whole like story unfolding. I kind of see, I feel it connected to a relationship with a friend that I broke up recently.
Mm-hmm.
And I met that friend when I was 9 years old, and it feels like her. Like, and it's kind of like there's a crazy energy, and this 9-year-old version of me is just like, okay, like I'll just stay still here and um, not react too much, and just like, okay, if you want to go all crazy, like that's cool with me.
Mm-hmm.
But she's frozen, and she's like, really doesn't know what to do. Like, how
Mm-hmm.
can she take up space around that? How, um, like, what does she do? It's kind of like a perplexed, like shaking head, like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. And notice what happens with the part of you in the back.
Feel it
So
flapping way more.
totally. She's like pissed. She's like, I just fucking want to be seen, damn it.
Yeah, yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah, it's like so dramatic. Flapping.
Well, and the thing is too, it's like she's like being so dramatic and she's wanting to be seen, and then this part's still not seeing her or meeting her.
Yeah, yeah.
So, and what's interesting here is
Mhm.
like, it can feel or seem like this part in the back that's being dramatic and frustrated, like she's in the wrong, right?
Yeah.
And so it almost feels like she's kind of been taking some um, like then she has her own feelings about that. Like so there's like
Mm.
layers upon layers of the feelings.
Mhm. yeah, like I feel my mind making a million associations, but like losing presence with actually those two parts.
Mm-hmm.
So let me tune back in. Yeah, she's really reacting to like me not seeing her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I can see like there's like no badness really.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And notice like too, like if you could just imagine yourself sort of like sitting in between these two
Mm-hmm.
pieces. You know, it's like the one in the front, it's like she's also really innocent. Like she really doesn't know how to be with this other part.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she knows.
Yeah. Notice how too, it's like, so being in the center of them, like you can start to have compassion with both pieces.
Mm-hmm. And as I do that, the back is starting to hurt. Like there's a pain
Mm.
physically. Feels like anger.
Mm-hmm. And I feel like the one in the front, like I feel her wanting to come closer to you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like she might want to sit on your lap or be with you.
Yeah. Can let her do that. There's like the word good girl keeps coming back, like an attachment to being a good girl.
Mm.
And quiet and like on task.
From which piece?
The front.
Yeah.
And she's like, I don't know how to do that with all that.
Yeah. So what if you could show her and teach her? Because you know, as a child, as a younger person, like you didn't know how to do it.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't know how to do it with others. You didn't know how to do it within yourself.
Mm-hmm. It was like a frozen kind of look, but I'm not sure I know how to do that either.
Yeah.
And there's like in the back of my brain is like, of course you do, like, of course you do, but the same, like, no,
Totally.
I don't know.
Yeah. Your mind is like, it's never done it before, right? So it's like, I don't know.
Yeah,
It's like we need the heart. We need this other part that knows how.
yeah. Yeah, I can feel her like jumping up and down, raising her hand, like, I know.
Call on me. Call on me. I can do it.
Me. I'll show you.
Totally.
Okay.
Yeah.
Uh,
And just validate your mind, letting your mind know, like, you're not supposed to know.
uh. Oh, well, I feel the me in the middle and the me sitting on my lap, just turning towards the one who is like, me, pay attention to me. I know. I've been trying to tell you this whole time.
Yeah.
uh,
Hmm.
she's doing all these gymnastics, and jumping up and down and twirling and kind of doing ta-da kind of moves. And she's saying they want us to express ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And they want to see us. They're giving us opportunities all the time to see us.
Mm-hmm.
And I can feel my third eye like scrunching up, like my mind is concentrating super hard to like understand it.
Yeah, so maybe invite your mind to have an experience of it.
It doesn't like that so much.
Yeah.
It's almost like it prefers to have like a map of what's going on rather than the actual experience of what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And it does feel like a different way of like processing information and like being in the world.
Mm-hmm. What are you noticing with the part in the back? How is she?
She's like, where did the attention go? Like, why is it not on me again
Mm-hmm.
right now?
Yeah, she's like, I have something important, right?
Yeah, and she's also like, but I got the solution here. Like, let me help you.
Yeah, it's like you have to, like what I'm feeling is like you have to feel it. You know, that's
Yeah, it's kind of like she's like, I got all this bandwidth for you, and I'm just trying to give it to you. And you have to just like feel. You just have to,
yeah.
let me.
So what if she could give you like um a little drop of the feeling, like almost if you could have like a music note of it, or like dipping your toe into a pond or
Okay.
something like that, where you could like actually just kind of feel the sensation.
Yeah. So both metaphors. When she gives me that, she's like, yeah, easy. I'm like the ripples. I'm seeing like, and feeling ripples around me.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like there's another field.
Your voice, whenever you said that, just did this weird thing.
Okay.
Another field. Yeah, it's like what I'm noticing is, so you're doing this training on boundaries. It's like as you feel that back layer, as you get a little drop of it, like I can feel your boundary coming even more online, but not like a
Yeah.
logical boundary from your mind, actually more of a, like your heart.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what I would suggest is continue playing with this and see if you can allow yourself to continue to just explore drops of this energy.
Yeah, I'll do that.
See what it has to show you.
Mm-hmm.
So, is there anything else these pieces need before we close this space for you?
Mm. Yeah, okay, I guess I'll name it. So whatever my voice did, and you like reflecting back at that when I said field and you reflecting it back to me, it like felt like I was being laughed at for that piece in me. I wanted to shut right back down.
Yeah, I can feel that tenderness.
Like if my voice is gonna do weird things, like cancel, never mind.
So this is like, so stepping into the back, what it actually does is it's shifting your way of being.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like the voice, or the reflection on this call of like the audio doing a thing. It shows like it's actually a reflection of how powerful your energy is.
Mm-hmm.
And so, it's like there's part of you that's afraid of how powerful your energy is. And so she's been going into the collapse mode,
Yeah.
And this invitation here is like actually to expand and open more into that. And it's not a mind thing, right? Because that's where your mind is like, well, I'm going to turn, I'm going to shut this back down because I don't know what's happening and I don't know how that happened. I don't know how my voice did that thing. And it's sort of like a music note, right? It's like when we're singing or when we're dancing or, feeling, we don't know what's going to come out. And when we totally surrender to it, that's when the magic happens. It's like listening to a song that cracks you open, It's because it came so deep from the heart. And so it's like the more you are opening to this place in your heart, just by being, you then are giving off that frequency, right? Like your frequency is emitting healing, just like a song would, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I could. It's like my mind's like, but I nope. So I'm gonna work with her a bit.
Yeah, and when there's like these tender places, if you can invite in wonder and curiosity and play, it can make it a little bit easier, right? Like if you're playing, then it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be like right. It's like playing. It can be goofy, it can be clumsy, it can be whatever it is.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Beautiful work.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
Thanks for being willing. Okay. So, Carrie Ann, if you are available.
Hello, can you hear
Hi.
me?
Yes.
Hi. Okay,
Hi.
so hopefully I have a few minutes of quiet here. um, so that exercise was really interesting. I really did feel my physiology shift. The place that was calling to me was my, um, I'm not sure exactly where the solar plexus is. Would that be the stomach area,
Yes.
or like a little above it?
Yeah.
That's where I feel my tension is like right where the rib cage kind of meets in the front, from that area down into my belly. That's where I feel a lot of my tension. And when I was doing the energy exercise and able to observe in the middle that, and then the other side, it did kind of relax. So that was interesting. Now, of course, then when my kids start making noise, it gets filled back up with tension. So um, I guess that's sort of one thing that I struggle with is I'm sensitive. I didn't realize until my kids recently that I'm so sensitive to noise, and I think it sends me into like a fight or flight state. And of
Mm-hmm.
course, I have noisy kids. I mean, kids are noisy, but my kids are especially noisy. So that's sort of something I'm struggling with, just managing my own tension in the context of that noisy
Mm-hmm.
environment. Actually, just started telling myself, okay, I'm not in danger. They're just making noise. But my nervous system is just somehow really thrown off by it. Um,
Yeah.
so that's something I'm struggling with.
Yeah. So, um, what I'm feeling just as I'm noticing your energy is like you're so attuned outwardly, so
Yes.
it's sort of like any sensation outside of you is like hyper awareness.
Yes.
Um and so I'm curious about what's happening inside. So maybe like we could even imagine having, a bubble around you or some type of container, even like a
Okay.
plexiglass container, just to where you could um, have some space, from the outside energy,
Yes.
just to begin to be able to orient back to yourself.
So as I imagine that, then a lot of sadness, get in touch with a lot of sadness
Yeah.
inside. I guess it makes sense that I've been directing my attention outward. So
Mhm.
the sadness feels painful.
Yeah. And what I'm present to for you as well is like the sadness feels really dense. So there's this way that, it's like your mind can think like, oh, well, that's all I am, right? Or that's all that's there.
Mm.
But it actually feels like there's lots of other stuff there too. So just see if you can start to notice the other energetics that are present in you.
Okay. Yeah, I've been trying to be more conscious of experiencing joy, and just kind of sprinkling that in when I can, especially with the kids. Just like making eye contact, like getting close, like eye to eye, and like smiling and really having a goofy moment. And I guess, and I have been enjoying that, and the kids enjoy that. And I kind of feel like maybe underneath, I feel like I'm trying to force it, or even though I do really enjoy it, I do really get pleasure from it, but like I'm trying to force it to force away the sadness or the disappointment in myself.
Yeah. There's like this, I can feel that. I don't know exactly how to name the energetic, but like that force kind of control piece. It like I can feel it sort of by your spine, like running deeper in your energy.
Yeah, it's funny that you mentioned spine, because I've been trying to strengthen my back and my spine, because I have a 3-year-old that still nurses and just involves a lot of sitting on the couch, and I've been started reclining a lot, so I feel like my spine has gotten almost, like more curved and has lost a lot of strength. So I really feel like that's mirroring my like feeling trapped and not strong enough to handle things. So yeah, what did you initially say that? How did you?
So it's sort of usually what I call this mechanism is like demand resist.
Okay.
So it's like where we're like doing something or trying to get something and then we resist it, so it's like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna like be joyful so that they can feel joyful, and then it's like you're actually blocking yourself from the joy, like you actually don't let yourself feel it. So it's like, I'm going to do this thing so that I can maybe get this thing. And then it doesn't actually, it's like the energy doesn't move. Like we don't let the energetic move within our system because there's like this tight, it's sort of like, it almost feels like a tug of war. Or another way is like if you're trying to pull a dog or, and they're like smelling or they're like resisting you. It's like that's what happens energetically.
Yes. I can relate to that. My dog was totally like that.
Yeah. So, and that'll happen with your kids
sadness
too.
Yeah.
So it's like when you're in the demand resist, then you're going to attract things around you that are going to also mirror that energy back to you.
Yes. that would definitely describe my kids. And it's funny that you mentioned that about the dog, because today's the 1-year anniversary of when I had to put my dog down last year. So there's definitely sadness coming up for me around that at all, as well, that I'm also trying to resist. I never really had time to process it last year, because it's right before the start of school, and I had some urgent things come up at the time that I really had to focus on last year. And same sort of thing this year. Is like so many things on the list to do that are, I don't feel like if I give in to processing the sadness, I won't get everything done. I'm already dropping balls.
Totally. Where are you feeling that like restriction in your system?
I'm not sure. It feels like my head, maybe. Like right now, I feel some tightness in the back of my head, sort of a line running up the back of my head over the top, all the way to my forehead. I feel tension in my lower back, also by my spine, my jaw. I'm really aware of a lot of tension.
I'm noticing it too in the back of your heart. Like it feels like that's like the center of where it is, and then it's like all these other places. There's this way that your system like creates all these diversions.
Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah, because it's like running all throughout my center line now, like my throat.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that makes sense because I cannot connect to the back of my heart at all. When you said that, it's just like a blank space. So
Yeah.
that makes sense. That
Yeah.
it's like sending up the
So
waves from there.
we can notice like all the things that are happening in your energy, right? So it's like there's this sadness, there's this like demand resist energy that's happening. Then there's like the diversion energy of like, oh, let's not look at that thing or feel the sadness. So it's like doing all this maybe it's this, maybe it's this, maybe it's this, maybe it's this, you know? So
Yeah.
yeah, just let's feel those pieces for a minute. Just being present with all that movement, because you know it's like all of this hypersensitivity inside then creates the hyper awareness outside, right? And the way to shift the outside is by honing in the inside. So, yeah, just see if you can. And it's okay. It's okay for it to feel tender, to feel vulnerable. There's a lot of moving pieces. So what do you notice just as you take a few breaths and present yourself with that?
Some of the tension has gone away in those various parts.
Mm-hmm.
Now I feel more in my lower legs and my feet, which is very unusual.
Yeah.
But I feel sort of not a tension, but a weight underneath my rib cage in the front there, in the solar plexus area. Like a heaviness.
Yeah. Do you notice this thread of like not knowing where to be or not knowing where to go?
Yes, definitely. Not knowing what to focus. I have so many like important, urgent things that I have to take care of, and I just kind of spin around. I don't know what to do, and I'm not making that much progress in any
Totally
direction, even energetically, I would say.
Yeah. So what if we created like a home base for you?
Okay, that sounds good.
Where would you want to put that? Where would it feel good to have that? Would it be in your heart, your womb, your belly? What would feel good?
It's interesting. I feel like I have to explore my relationship to my womb more because, I have twins, and that was a traumatic pregnancy. There's a lot of pain in that, so that doesn't feel safe. Yet I haven't processed that probably. And my heart feels so blank. I'm really surprised to realize like how blank it feels. Like I feel like it's not even there. Like I can't even.
Well, maybe because your energy isn't there.
Yeah.
So maybe if it's blank, that would actually be a good spot for it.
Okay. To like send loving energy there.
Well, ideally, we'd want to bring your energy home. So like actually, like you could imagine having a magnet in your heart.
Okay.
And just bringing your energy there.
So that's having an interesting experience because it's slow, but I feel like very gradually, like the edges of me are becoming more defined as opposed to they were like feeling very foggy and diffuse.
Totally.
So just like the very edges, but it's like.
Yeah.
You're still there? Okay, good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's very interesting. It's like they really got clearer. And I feel like, yeah, if I can give that like a lot of time to do that sort of exercise, that I would definitely feel more solid and grounded and like together.
Yeah.
And it's funny that you said magnet, because I was just looking at like magnetic jewelry as like, you know, another thing to add to like for, you know, grounding my energy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel like I could see like ripples inward.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and notice it's like as you are bringing your energy more home in yourself, that outside sensitivity isn't you know, it's not as hyper alert.
Yeah.
You know, it's still there, but it's not like it was before. Yeah. Good. Good work.
Yeah, I really feel that pull in my chest, like I have sensation in my chest heart area.
Mm-hmm. Good.
Feels a little tight, but I think I just have to work with it more. Like, just need to, like, I'll have to have like a nice block of time to really allow it to, you know, when I can find that block of quiet time.
Yeah,
I do it like numerous times a day.
Well, and the thing is, we're not trying to make this sensation be anything specific.
Yeah.
You know, so I wouldn't try to make it looser or any of that stuff. Really, what you want to do is get present to what is, you know, because it's when you go into that, like, then trying to do the thing, like it starts to create more anxiety in your system.
Okay.
So, really, just being present with what is going to allow the energy to soften.
Yes. Okay. I see.
Yeah. Beautiful. So keep us posted as it continues to unravel.
Thank you.
Thanks for being willing to show yourself.
Yes, thank you for the opportunity.
You're welcome. So, yeah, so for those of you who are here listening to the replay, more than likely, you know, one of these sessions has reflected parts of yourself to you, you know, so I invite you to join us in Soul Inspired Success. And if you're desiring to be seen or witnessed, or you're desiring some support, join us there. Share with us what's moving through you. Share with us what you're noticing within you. You know, when we get present with these places in ourself, this is how we open to our magic. You know, we open to the gifts that are available to us. We open to receiving with more ease and like going through business in life with more ease. But also we open to our world shifting, you know, to our reality shifting, because our reality is always going to reflect our inner world to us. And so when you learn how to be present within yourself, and when you learn how to work these pieces within yourself, your outside world is going to begin to reflect that to you. And so, yes, that's the work. And if any of you are needing support, feel free to reach out to me. I'd love to talk with you about how I can support you. I have some mini breakthrough packages, and then I also work with my clients in a 6-month program as well. So lots of different options. So if you're needing some support, you're interested in energy work, please reach out and we can talk about how I can support you with that. So I'm sending you all so much love and grace as you navigate these energies and you open to your possibilities, and also stay present to these places that are tender and that need some loving, and they need grace from you. So the way to expand is being present with both, you know, being open to the possibilities and also open to yourself. So I'm sending you so much love and grace as you navigate this, and we will connect in the Facebook community. Bye for now.